Hello, everyone. My name is Natalie Hughey. I am GVP's volunteer liaison, and I would like to introduce you to GVP's new volunteer support network, also known as VSN. Joining me is Erin Allred, GVP's Director of Development.
Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to be here today and learn about the VSN with Natalie. On behalf of Elizabeth, I know a lot of you have met or heard from at this point, who's our new CEO and head of school, and also Dr. Cassie, who's now our Director of Education and Impact. I just want to say how excited we are about this vision that Natalie has really been working on and helping us craft over this past year. I really think it's the next stage or the next evolution of our volunteer program at GVP, and it's been a long time coming, and it's just going to do incredible things for the impact of our volunteer community. So really excited to learn about this today. Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you. Thank you, Erin. So Erin will come back at the end of this presentation to ask some questions. We have a 10 to 12 minute short presentation for you. So please get comfortable and let's get started. I will share my screen. No. Get back to the beginning. All right. So volunteer participation has been a critical component of the Global Village Project's programs and operations since its inception 12 years ago. Engaged and vital volunteers contribute thousands of hours every year, dramatically expanding the school's capacity to make an impact. What is the VSN? Volunteers' feedback has been recognized and valued over the years, and we know at GVP that volunteers are one of our greatest resources. We want to maximize our volunteers' potential and ensure that volunteer resources and infrastructures adapt to our school's changing needs and expectations. The Volunteer Support Network, VSN, created by volunteers for volunteers, includes all members of the GVP Volunteer Corps and will continue to focus on meeting the needs of GVP as we work as a team to grow our impact on our community and for ourselves. The mission of the Volunteer Support Network is as follows. The Volunteer Support Network, VSN, which encompasses all GVP volunteers, will work as a team to maximize its support of GVP students, teachers, and staff, while creating a welcoming and inclusive culture of community engagement for all stakeholders, where contributions are utilized in impactful ways and volunteer commitments are valued and supported, providing community strength, solidarity, and sustainability. Supported by an internal team structure and volunteer leaders, the VSN will collectively strive to maximize its efficacy in serving GVP by helping all volunteers find the roles and opportunities in which they feel empowered to make an impact, by proactively assisting with the management and leadership of GVP's volunteer programs, and by fostering a welcoming and inclusive environment in which everyone's contributions are valued and supported. How is this different from how we've always done things? Historically, the volunteer program at GVP has been led by a community engagement manager who recruits, organizes, and manages all volunteer engagement, in addition to supporting the development team and leading community engagement, data management, and more. Really a tall order for one person in such a volunteer-reliant organization. Let's ignore the yellow boxes for just a little bit here. Over the past 6 months, the volunteer liaison and GVP staff and leadership have worked hard to design the new VSN and are excited to begin recruiting volunteers to join and or lead teams in 3 key areas of GVP volunteer program: engagement, academic support, and organizational support. Volunteer leaders in each team, in collaboration with the volunteer liaison and the volunteer and program coordinator, form the Volunteer Leadership Council and will lead the VSN. Participation in any team is not exclusive, and our volunteers will be welcome wherever and however they are wanting to support the network. We will look at this all in detail in a moment. The result of the VSN, we hope, will be less staff capacity required for overseeing volunteer activities, volunteers empowered to take the lead in events and opportunities they are familiar with, and more impactful support of teachers and students. In the yellow highlighted boxes, we detail the reasons for and the need for the volunteer skills survey. Historically, our large core of dedicated volunteer had untapped skill sets and potential for leadership that we were not necessarily aware of. Through this survey, we will get a better understanding of volunteers' interests and skills collected in a searchable and quantifiable way. Let's look at the VSN in detail. So the VSN is part of the Development and Volunteer Department, led by the Development Director, Erin Allred, who you met earlier. The VSN itself will be led by the Volunteer Liaison in collaboration with the Volunteer and Program Coordinator. 3 more volunteers will serve as volunteer leaders: the Engagement Volunteer Team Leader, the Academic Support Volunteer Team Leader, and the Organizational Support Volunteer Team Leader. Together, the 3 of them will form the Volunteer Leadership Council. Each volunteer leader will oversee one of the key areas of GVP volunteering. Within each of the 3 key areas, there are many activities and events that will each require several volunteers. These activities will be led by team captains: the classroom volunteer team captain, the lunch walkers team captain, for example. Each of the 3 volunteer leaders will be responsible for leading all team captains for the different projects within their key area. Think of this as GVP's unique version of a PTA. Let's look at each of the teams separately. The engagement team will focus on 2 areas: ambassadors to support new volunteers and students without mentors, and a GVP hospitality team focused on appreciation events, such as teacher appreciation, food needs for the author's tea, and needs for on-site lunches as well. The academic support team will include all volunteer opportunities that support students in academic endeavors, both in and outside of the classroom. The classroom support team, the literacy workshop team, study hall, and STEAM education, which includes any non-academic subjects such as instrument lessons, technology education, and special classes. The organizational support team will focus on staff support in the office, in the library, off-site, and for our annual special events, such as Welcome Walk, Tribute, Enrollment Day, Parent-Teacher Conferences, and others. We developed a survey questions with the intent of collecting usable, meaningful, and quantitative data and allowing interested volunteers to join in the leadership team. In a few days, all active GVP volunteers will receive an email invitation to complete the survey. Reminders will be sent via mail, email, social media, and personal phone outreach through the end of May. For those who don't know her, here is Erin Allred, GVP's Director of Development. I wonder, Erin, do you have any questions about the VSN?
I do. And I just want to say thank you again for that presentation. I hope everyone watching this is excited, again, as I am and as the leadership team is, to really be launching all of this over the next 6 months. So my first question actually is, so when is this all going to start, and will it be virtual?
So this week, as I said, we will be sending the survey to every onboarded GVP volunteer via direct email. So be on the lookout in your email inbox. In the next few weeks, we'll follow up on social media via mailing and personal outreach. In the summer, we will start building our teams so that later in the summer, early in the fall, we are set and ready to train based on teachers and staff needs, and so that we are ready to go as soon as school starts back in person instruction, hopefully in August.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just want to add, we're of course continuing to follow COVID safety precautions. So while we're virtual at this point, hopefully by the fall, we will be back together. I know we're all longing for that. So Thanks, Anna. Okay, so my second question is that it looks like the leaders of these three teams, and then also the team captains who would be working kind of under them, might have to make pretty considerable time commitments to GVP. How many hours do you think these positions are going to take on average or kind of on a weekly basis?
So in the survey, we have a question that asks volunteers to indicate whether they are interested in a leadership position. Indicating an interest in a leadership position does not mean that you need to make a commitment. It only allows us, or will allow us, to contact those interested, to have a meeting to discuss exactly what it entails, how many hours, what kind of responsibilities are included and all that, but also to investigate the opportunities for co-leadership. It is possible that two friends might want to lead a team together, or that two people might want to become friends and lead teams together, all in an effort so that not one person is 100% responsible for everything and people can lean on each other for support.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also this is kind of all new to us. We're hoping to design it together with our new volunteer leaders, so that can be part of the design process as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how does someone let you know if they're interested in leading a team? And then also, will there be training for them? And how about if a volunteer doesn't necessarily want to lead, but does want to participate when it all launches?
So there is a question, as I mentioned in the survey, that to indicate whether you're interested in leading a team or not. It really doesn't matter because there is plenty to do and everybody is welcome. Once we have our teams set and organized and our team leaders and captains identified, we will have some training, which will be based on teachers and staff's need.
Okay. And then I think you might have said this earlier, but if someone doesn't want to lead but does want to participate, like this is for all our volunteers. Really, all of our volunteers are part of this. So there will be ongoing opportunities for people to get more, like take on leadership opportunities. Is that right?
Yes.
Great.
And in fact, when you answer the survey, for each question, there are 4 potential answers. So the first answer is that you are basically interested without any experience, just interested in a specific activity. And you know, at GVP, no experience is needed for anything. So you can be interested in everything, but you don't have to. The second question is interested with experience. That means either volunteer experience or other experience volunteering somewhere else. For example, you might have been a volunteer in a literacy workshop class, and so you're interested and you have experience. The third way you can answer is interested professional, meaning that you have professional experience and or training in a specific activity. For example, you are a trained ESOL teacher, and so you would mention that there. And then lastly, you can say not interested. It's very possible that you might not be interested in several things, and that's just fine. There are things for everyone. So if you're not interested at all, you can just check not interested. Lastly, at the end of the survey, there's the opportunity to write a long answer about other things, anything else you want to tell us that we didn't ask or didn't think to ask. I'm sure we forgot things, and so you can include those there.
Yeah. Wonderful. So it really sounds like part of the vision of this is to be as inclusive and kind of as broad as possible. Can you talk a little bit more about that and where that comes from as we were designing it?
Sure. So at GVP for the past well over a year now, maybe even closer to 2 years now, we have had a great focus on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so in working on this project, the VSN, and designing the survey, we were really hopeful that everybody would feel included. If we ask the same questions to everyone and everyone has an opportunity to answer in whatever way they wish. And then we hope that everyone will want to participate in one way or another so that we can be fully inclusive that way. We will also provide the opportunity for those who don't have internet access and can't respond to the survey to access it in other ways once they let us know. Lastly, there is a team, as you saw on the organizational chart, that's called hospitality, and it's more of an external focus. That team will also try to engage our community in telling GVP's story and hopefully tapping into new volunteers that maybe are outside of our circles, increasing again our diversity.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Natalie. This has all been very thorough. I think that's all the questions I had, but I know others viewing this will have questions as well. So before we end, can you tell people where they should go if they have questions?
Sure. So on the survey that will be sent to you via email in your inbox later this week, there will be directions on where to send any questions, but you can always contact me, Natalie, at volunteer@globalvillageproject.org with any questions about the VSN or volunteering at GVP. And I'm sure you can also contact Erin with anything you'd like to know.
That's right. I'm always very happy to hear from you guys as well. My email is erinallred@globalvillageproject.org. You know, I miss all of you guys. So looking forward to hearing you as well.
We all miss you. And so do the girls. They tell us all the time. So we
That's
look forward to hearing from you. Please respond to the survey. We'll do some personal outreach. You may expect a phone call. And please let us know if there's anything else we can do for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. Bye.